She's flying to Bangalore today. And we were so excited to actually be... oh, Shikha, you can't hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So, yeah, Isha and I were really, really excited to facilitate this call and to just hop on and say hi to all of you. And, well, she's still not landed in Bangalore. So, like I said, you're stuck with me.
I love it.
Oh, flight, she specially got a flight for 1:30 or something, and then a flight got delayed. And she was like, well, what's right about this? What is right? And I told her, I said, you're anyway going to be in Bangalore by 5:30, so you can still hop on. So I just texted her, and the message hasn't delivered. So, well, she's still in flight. Okay. So, should we start?
Should I read a
Yes.
hit record?
Yes, you're on? Great. I have hit record, Rish. I was not
Okay.
sure if you're coming on.
It is.
Cool. Okay. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to our clarity night clarity night on a conversation that intrigues me a lot. Intrigues me not in the form of a wrongness only, but it really intrigues me that if everything is a choice, why would somebody choose abuse? If everything is a choice, why would someone choose to be gaslighted? If everything is a choice in life, why would we set ourselves up for destruction? Just something that intrigues me. I mean, can we really be that cute that we would actually choose something like that? We obviously do. Lots of us do, right? Yeah, Shikha, you have your hands up. Yes, me! And Ritu too, and everybody else. Yeah. Abuse is something that, I mean, we've really been asking a lot of questions around this, Isha and I, and just asking questions as to so many of us are not even willing to acknowledge that we are being abused. We are not even willing to acknowledge that we abuse. It's easier to acknowledge that I'm being abused because now I'm a victim. But how many of us really acknowledge that we abuse? We abuse. We abuse ourselves. We abuse others around us. We abuse ourselves in the name of love, in the name of creating greater. We abuse ourselves in the name of caring. We abuse ourselves in the name of, but I want a better body, so I'm going to not eat and I'm going to starve and I'm going to abuse my body till I don't get the shape I have decided is the right shape. Or else then we abuse ourselves financially by telling ourselves that we don't deserve the money, we don't have the money, we can never create the money. Or else we abuse ourselves verbally, energetically, emotionally, every time we see ourselves in the mirror, every time that we are in a relationship and we destroy ourselves to keep the relationship in place so that the relationship is there, even if it means that we have to kill ourselves.
Channa, is pain also an abuse that we create in our body?
So what is it for you, honey?
No, I get a no for abuse, but I wonder what that is.
Is it a way of gaslighting yourself?
Yeah, that's what I got too.
Yeah. Pain is any time that we do not acknowledge the potency that we be, the potency that we are, the potency that is available to us every moment, every micromillimeter of a second, every nanosecond, the potency that we be available to us. Every time that we reject that, every time we say no to that. Every time we say, I can't have it. Every time we say, I can't do what somebody else can. All of that is gaslighting ourselves. And when we gaslight ourselves in this manner, where we push down our potency, it has to show up in some form. Have you ever tried putting your hand under a tap of flowing water? Does it stop the water? Or do you feel the pressure on your hand? That's pretty much the same thing when you try to shut down your potency. You really don't shut it down, it just keeps pushing at your body.
So what's the value
Till it shows up as pain. Because interestingly, that's the message that I also sent out today on Creating Beyond, that pain is generally the only way that we really sit and communicate with our bodies. The only way that we listen to our body is through the pain.
What's the value of that? Like constantly gaslighting ourselves with pain in our body?
Well, that's the idea of this call. What is the value? What is the value of abuse? What is the value of gaslighting? Like I started this call, that when Isha and I wanted to do this call, the first thing was that if everything's a choice, why would we, being the infinite beings that we be, what's the value of choosing abuse? What is the value of choosing to be gaslighted? So everywhere that we are using the enforced stupidity on ourselves by rejecting what we know, can we please destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. How stupid would you have to make yourselves? How utterly stupid would you have to make yourselves to receive the abuse? How utterly stupid would you have to make yourselves to be gaslighted? How much fun do we have being stupid? Like, come on, it's so much fun. I don't know, somebody else can tell me. I don't know. Everything bad is, can we destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. It's so much fun being stupid. Like somebody said to, yes, why would we gaslight ourselves? Interesting, Zeal. I'll just come to that. Somebody, I think, said something really interestingly once to Dane, that, what was I going to say? I forgot. Shit. What was that? Come on, what did it take to recall? Anyhow, it'll come and it has to. Maybe it's come and gone. Okay. So Zeal's question was, why do we choose this? What is gaslighting? I'm sure everybody knows what gaslighting is, because we've been talking about gaslighting since almost a year and a half now, since it came out in Access. And for everyone who's not aware of what gaslighting is where you actually allow to be very subtly killed, destroyed in the name of love. It takes you away from everything that you love. It takes you away from everything you enjoy. It takes you away from everybody who truly contributes to you. And you suddenly find yourself all alone. And you find yourself totally disempowered. And everywhere that you've done that to yourselves or to anybody else in this lifetime, and all the energy that you're being, that has you maintaining it, perpetuating it on yourself and everybody else, will you all please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. No, Zeal. Universal surrogate is something that's really different. It's not really gaslighting. Universal surrogate is a really very different energy of being more of an empath with oaths and vows. Being gaslighted. So I'd love you all to please unmute yourselves and just come hop on and ask your questions. I mean, I don't mind if you want to write them out, but it's more fun if you can just have a conversation too. Okay? So, yeah. Any questions?
Sanna auntie, Zeal.
Yes. Hi, darling.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. So,
Cheers, I'm having the most delicious ginger ale. And if you all haven't had it, please try it. It's become my favorite drink.
okay.
Okay.
So, universal surrogate, is it like related to the pain and the intensity what we generally either like, are we sensing or perceiving somebody else's pain? Is it somewhere related? This.
A universal surrogate is something that is a very different conversation. In fact, a universal surrogate is one who has taken on an oath and a vow, formality, fidelity, commitment, bonding, binding contract, to heal others, including the planet.
So, do we like when we sometimes like perceive the intensity and the pain we have? Is it like, are we taking on people's pain? Not.
You can always ask, am I a universal surrogate? And then you can clear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes.
Chandana?
Yeah. Yes, darling.
Yeah. So, the energy of gaslighting, self, and abuse, is it like self-judgment and not acknowledging and always putting you less? Is it something like that?
Yes, absolutely. Any time that, so yes, thank you for that, because it just came to me what I was going to tell you, was that Dane once said that any time that you choose against you, you are abusing yourself.
Oh, okay.
Anytime you tell your children to do something that's not what they want to do, that's not going to create greater for them from a knowing that they have, you're abusing them. Anytime you do that with yourself, you're abusing you.
Okay. Yeah.
So the energy of abuse is so prevalent in the world, not just in the country, in the world. The energy of abuse is so prevalent because that's an energy which is introduced to us from day one. Not only day one, it's also introduced to us when we are in the mother's womb and we receive it energetically. And we literally grow into it. We literally grow into the energy of abuse without even questioning whether this is really working for us or not working for us. I remember there was a maid once, one of my maids, and she used to come home and she used to be working for us for many years. She was my sweetress, and one day I saw she'd have a blue eye, one day she'd have a black thing, and I would say, what is this? You get beaten up, or what is this? And she would say, yeah, my husband beats me, he drinks and then he beats me. And I would say, what the fuck, why do you even allow that? And she would say, koi baat nahi, mem sab paisa to deta hai na, khane ko to deta hai na, ghar to hai. I was like, wow. And this I'm talking about when I didn't even have Isha. So I'm talking about almost 27 years ago. That this is what is so ingrained in us. That even if you have to be abused to get something, it's okay. So how many of you are inviting abuse into your life? How many of you are accepting the abuse in exchange for something that you've decided you would like? And everything that is, will you all please destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, what, work, online shots, boys and beyonds. It's almost like we say, it's okay to be abused, at least I'm getting this. So everywhere that you allow the abuse, everywhere you allow the abuse by minimizing the effect of it and maximizing the result of it, will you destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, what, work, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. The effect of abuse and the result of the abuse is both destruction. Even if you think it's okay to be abused, like the maid would tell me, it's okay to be abused, at least I get the house and at least I get the money and stuff. That's a result of the abuse. that is what will lead to more abuse. And by the end of it, it becomes a pattern where to receive anything, you would choose abuse. Did you get that, guys?
So Channa, is that what you're talking about? Is once you abuse, like once, even if we abuse ourselves or any kind of abuse we instill in our world, it's like that deal and deliver, right? Okay, if I abuse myself, I get this.
Yeah. It's the result and the effect of it.
Yeah, and does that, like, are we also inviting more of that into our world from the people around us and to ourselves?
Yes, you
And
are inviting more of that, and you are also telling yourself that to receive, I would first have to receive the abuse, to receive the result of the abuse. Are you
And
seeing
how
how
do
that works? So everywhere that you misidentified and misapplied receiving for abuse and abuse for receiving, will you all please destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. It's almost like you choose to be abused. So once I'm abused, once I become the victim, I can receive. So who are you truly controlling by the abuse that you are choosing? Everything that is, will you all destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes.
Ooh, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyond. It's just you guys, it's not running on me.
Not at all. Never ever.
Now that just had like a crazy charge. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, right, Shikha? It is. It is a crazy charge. It is.
It's kind of where that everybody's and like I'm victimizing myself by controlling the person who's actually victimizing, and but then he's not. Oh my god! Like
Absolutely.
Sana, can I ask you again something?
Yes, please, you can.
So,
Go ahead.
how would that work in, like, if you have a mother and daughter relationship and your views and your mother's views are different? So, how do we not abuse them and ourselves and get a thing worked out?
Can you say
What
more?
questions? Yeah. So, what questions can we ask here? Like, for example, if I want to buy something and maybe my mother's choice is something else, so how do we, not abuse
So
ourselves?
first, that's okay. So I want you all, thank you for this question, Zeel. Everywhere you've decided and concluded, if you're choosing for you, you're abusing somebody,
Mm-hmm.
or you're choosing against somebody,
Mm-hmm.
will you all please destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Choosing for you doesn't mean you're choosing against anybody. It's just choosing for you. Okay? Who's going to wear what you're going to buy? You or your mom? I mean, your body or your mom's body?
Obviously, me.
Yeah.
No, it's not about wearing. It's like a common thing we want to buy. For example, say something for a household thing, and we think like she thinks okay, this is like more in terms of budget and this and that.
Practicality.
Yeah. So
I
that
know I'm a mom too.
Yeah, I said Channa knows all. She's a mom too.
Right, Ritu?
Yeah, that's what. Before she said, I just got that energy.
Okay, so one thing that I really like to ask when I have a situation like this
Mhm.
with the kids, because I notice whenever we go household shopping, which we all love doing, the kids will always pick up something which is beautiful, but I know it's not going to last more than 4 months.
That's the thing.
I pick up something which will last me at least 4 years. Okay, so at that moment, a great question to ask in your just energetically is it even significant enough to create a fight?
Wow.
If it's not significant, let it go.
Okay.
What do we create fights for? Is it really fighting for your point of view against somebody else's point of view? Or is it to fight for the possibilities that, Gary's been talking so much about of late, where we fight for our possibilities. We fight for what can create greater. And it's not fighting against them. It's not a fight versus right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a fighting for the possibilities where you're fighting against your limitations.
Okay. And
So
one,
when you are in a situation like that, which is really not very significant, another wonderful question to ask is this even relevant? I mean, if it's not relevant, how easily do we get sucked into fighting for our point of view? And the moment you ask this question, is it even relevant? And you get an energy of blah. You're like, oh, okay, forget it. I'm not interested. Okay, take it. Go. And it's like, when you start to drop the fight with these little things,
mm-hmm.
is when you start to realize how easy it is to really receive. Because when there is no fight, there is just receiving.
Yes. One more question. I
Yeah.
had asked you something last week, and where you replied, it was what's right for you and honoring for you and the
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about that, like in this perspective? Like if it's something is right and honoring for me, and maybe
Yeah.
something different is honoring for the relationship, then how do we get it?
So when we, just for the benefit of everyone on the call, can I go into a little more clarity for everybody? Otherwise, it'll be like everyone will wonder what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thank you for that. Yeah. So, so there was a conversation that Zeel had with me last week, and it was about, what if you are attracted to somebody and you want to have sex with that person, and you're already in a relationship with somebody, and what do you do then? Is that right, Zeel? Was that your question? If I'm not...
Yes.
Yeah, right. So what do you do then? Is that honoring? Is that not honoring? What is it? Or do you just go have sex with the person? So what I said to her was, always choose what will create greater for you in your life. Always choose what will create. And when you make a choice like that, please acknowledge it's just not yours. It's just not you we are talking about here. There are 3 people involved. Are you being honoring enough to you, to the people involved, and to the relationship that you are in? When you're just going to look at the relationship and
Mm-hmm.
say, and just shut down everything just for the sake of the relationship, then the only thing that really exists is the relationship.
Hmm.
You are not in the picture, nor is your partner in the picture. The only thing that's alive is a relationship. And you are now serving the relationship. So you're really in service of your relationship.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
When you're looking at something like that and you're asking, is this honoring of us?
Hmm.
Is this going to create greater for us 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 5 months from now? And then go with the energy. And you have to trust. The thing is, we ask our questions, but do we really trust
No, that's
awareness that we receive?
no.
I mean, if we ask a question and we don't go with the awareness, what is the use of asking, guys? You're just fooling yourselves. Like, you got to ask, but you also want to follow your awareness of what you get. A good, a bad, a ugly, a heavy, contraction, lightness, expansion. What is it that you're getting? What is the awareness?
So if obviously if not following your awareness also is an abuse to yourself?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And how would you, like you told me to choose something what's light for me and obviously honoring for me, but obviously from a we perspective, from a we kingdom, as in like from a creationship perspective. So that's what I'm trying to figure. If those 2 things are different, then what questions do we ask here?
Ask a question. What part of this is a lie and what part of this is the truth?
Oh.
Because when something is light and something is heavy, there's always a part of it that's a lie, which is the heavy. And there's always a part of it that's the truth, that's the light.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, darling. You're welcome. And thank you for your vulnerability and your trust in me and everybody else on this call and asking that question.
Thank you.
You're welcome, love.
Chandan, could you talk about the subtle gaslighting and abuse? Like, we don't even realize that we are abusing ourselves or we are gaslighting ourselves or others, or we are being gaslighted. Like, we're allowing gaslight into our world. Like, what does it actually look like?
What does it look like is a question that really is asking for a form and structure, honey.
Hmm.
Right? So if you're going to try and look for it, you're going to create it. Do you get that?
Yeah.
So when you're really going to ask, what does it look like? And, you know, when you're going to ask for a form and structure to anything, you're going to create it. You really want to ask, is this going to create for me? And what will it take to be aware of the energy?
Hmm.
And not choose it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when we started the call, it was about, there's definitely something to the energy of abuse and gaslighting that we all love it so much that we continuously choose it.
Yeah.
Number one, acknowledging that. Acknowledging that is what can change everything where abuse is. Everywhere that we choose abuse and we say we don't have choice is a bigger abuse to yourselves. That's invalidating your very being of what it knows.
Yeah. And since we love it so much, we already know what it is like. Like
We
what?
know what it is, but we turn a blind eye, a deaf ear to it.
Yeah.
So what is the value of playing a victim?
To relate
What
to
is,
this reality, like to be able to relate to this reality.
and that's a great awareness. Thank you for that. What
Yeah.
else? That's what we spoke about, right? Yeah?
Greater.
Okay.
To seek attention,
Awesome. What else?
To never really
to
know what is true for me. Like to never want to discover it also. Forget
Okay.
to know it.
Okay. What else?
To control and
Superiority.
gain
control.
sensitivity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, is it control?
And gain
Yes.
sensitivity.
Okay. Awesome. What else? Just for the fun of it, what else? Just because we can, just because we can have fun with it, what else?
Kavita says superiority.
Superiority, yes. What else?
If your life is like filled with a lot of ease, people are like, okay, that's weird, and people start projecting stuff on you.
Yeah, that's
I
fitting
mean,
into this reality, right? Yeah, that's fitting into this reality where you're supposed to be a victim.
yeah.
Suffering is real.
Suffering is real. Yeah, suffering is real. Whoa. Everything that is, can we destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Okay, we've covered so many areas where we see that, we choose what we choose because there's a hidden agenda behind it all. You get that? Each one of us had a different agenda to choose to be a victim. There is no right answer. There is no wrong answer. It just is. And each one of us chooses to be a victim at different points, for different purposes, for different reasons, with different people. So all the agendas and all the hidden agendas that we have, all the shiku ones that we have, that keeps us choosing abuse in the name of being a victim, that has us destroying ourselves, destroying our bodies, destroying our relationships and our money flows. Can we please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. So who really has the control over everything in a situation of abuse? The victim or the victimizer? The victim, right?
Victim.
Yeah,
Yes.
the victim. It's the cheapest form of manipulation. And why do I say the cheapest form? Because it's the lowest vibration that we drop to receive.
So everything that is, will you all destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. You continue with? Okay. Yeah. So if abuse wasn't real in this reality, I mean, this call can go on for the next 5 hours on abuse because there's so much that we can cover. But what if we can actually look at abuse as a part of consciousness? What if it's not a wrongness? What if it's not a rightness? What if it just is? Just a choice, like you can choose a red and a green or a blue and a yellow. You can choose to abuse or you can just choose to create. You can choose for yourself or you can choose to be abused. Every time you choose against your knowing, you abuse yourself. It's just a choice. So what convergence of consciousness can you and your bodies be that can have you creating the possibilities from everything that you've defined as a problem in your reality? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you all destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Any more questions before we move on? I think
Yeah,
somebody...
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sarpa has a question in the chat. She says, can you please talk about allowance as far as abuse and gaslighting is concerned?
Yes, sure.
I had also posted 2 questions, Chandana.
Yes.
I put them over the mail as to what if the other person, when you see that is a form of emotional blackmail, even when you're not well, or do you call it abuse? Like, I'm not well and my spouse wants me to travel to a road trip and I know my shoulder's gone for a 6. So would that be called as emotional blackmail or abuse?
What is it for you, honey? Truth, do you really want to go? Are you there, darling?
Mamta, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hi, yeah.
Yeah, so do you really want to go for this road trip?
We're going to Himachal. Otherwise, I'd have loved to go, but I don't want to go and stay.
Thank
like
you
this.
for that. Thank you for that. Now, tell me, what's the value of your shoulder pain?
That it is giving me that thing not to go.
So what if you manipulate your husband out of this and have him taking care of you instead of going into being the victim or going into the minusculity of your choice that you have at this moment?
Yeah, I get that.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyond. You see, this is what we were talking about. Can I use your example for a moment, please, darling, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
This is a really great example of victim, victimize, and control.
Okay.
I did that all my life. Okay, I did that all my life. I had to go to Kapurthala and I used to hate going to Punjab. I used to hate going to Kapurthala. I used to get really bored. And every time my husband would say, honey, let's go to Kapurthala, I'd fall sick. And I said, see, I'm so sick and you want to take me to Kapurthala? How mean and nasty can you be? No, I was just choosing not to go. So what if you can acknowledge that? What if you can acknowledge that this is the way this is the choice you're making to not go?
Yeah. But this shoulder ache, okay, let me share with you. The shoulder ache has been there for quite some time, which I was being ignored. And on Karwa Chauth, it really became very intense. And I'm on physio.
Okay.
And despite that, it is taking.
Have you gone for an SC session?
ESC session.
Yeah, ESC or EMT session?
Yeah, I did yesterday.
Did that change anything for you?
No, it really opened up a lot of space. It was as if I was housing God knows how many entities.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of clearing,
Great.
and so that is where I'm coming from. That okay, this is the energetic aspect of it. What about the medical aspect of it?
What is the medical aspect of it, honey?
See, right now my MRI has not been done.
Mhm.
And I live in a family of doctors. My brother is a orthopedic. He's been telling me, "Come, I'll give you an injection on your shoulder," and I'm freaking away. No, 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 I don't want. I don't want to have an injection. So, one, I'm scared. Second, I feel steroids going into my system, and why am I doing it? And what is right about it that I'm not getting? Why is there? In what all areas am I being rigid in my life that it is manifesting in my body in this kind of a state?
Mamta, if I give you one question today,
Yes, please.
if I just ask you this question,
Huh.
will you run it on a loop?
Yeah, I will.
What is the value of choosing pain? And the bell rings. Ding dong! God said yes.
What is the value of pain?
What is the value of choosing pain?
Okay.
Pain is a choice.
Hmm.
Pain is a choice. Are we willing to acknowledge that?
Yes.
When you're willing to acknowledge that is when you can change it. Is when you can finally allow the potency to show up that lies under the pain.
Okay.
But for now, just ask this question: what is the value of choosing this pain? Do not look for an answer. Just play it on a loop and pock and pod all the energies that show up.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Cool.
Chandra, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
I'm not coming on video because it was a task to. I had a question to log in because it wasn't logging and I'm low on connectivity.
No problem. Go ahead.
My question is, I have chosen to be a victim because I did not have my own potency. Now the gaslighting has been so.
Darling, your voice is cutting. Just come again, please, once.
Now the potency. I've chosen to be a victim for long enough.
Okay.
The gaslighting has been immense and the abuse has been immense. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Now, what is happening is that I know that this is not me what people talk, and this is not me the way they behave. I'm talking about family, and for me to walk through that is difficult because the judgments come in, and there are times when I still get into self-doubt because for me to pass through those judgments that are working so much in my system gets me into self-doubt whenever I walk through them. And it's only with my in-laws and family.
Okay, so just a second. I'm sorry I'm going to interrupt you here, Poonam, but I really want you to see the energy of that. You said thrice that I have to walk through them. What is that energy? And Poonam got knocked off. Oops. Okay.
Yeah, she just left the meeting. I guess. The connection was bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
Anyway.
that?
She'll come back. Yeah, she'll come back.
She's back.
She
She's
is.
back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, can you hear me, Poonam? Okay. We will go to Poonam's question once she's back. And I think till then we had another question in the... I'm just going to read the question.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, please, go ahead.
So, what if a family member wants everything to go according to his way? Is there something like everyone has to do everything that he says, and if something goes the other way, he goes mad, like ballistic or something. I don't know, like he can't stand people say no to him. But that really puts,
Have you run this person's bars?
yeah. But now he refuses to receive them. I just ran them 3-4 times.
Yeah.
But after that, he's not receiving them.
Yeah, and this is a very common space that you talk about, where they receive it and then they start to say no, no more. I need to recognize that energy. That energy is how many demons have just woken up in his body, in his being.
Oh my God! Recently, I feel like someone has entered him because he's behaving like crazy.
Okay, so.
But my main question is, how do we get things done? Like, because I'm living I don't know, like I can't do something without asking him. Like, he's my brother, this person I'm talking about is, and he's younger to me and I'm elder to him, but still I have to ask him things. And since 3-4 days, my frustrations just become like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to change the situation around.
So the only way you can really change the situation, darling, is to be interesting point of view every time energy shows up. Every time an energy towards your brother shows up, be interesting point of view. How can I change this?
Yeah, how can I change
See, you've got to get one thing. If you're going to run questions, the amount of charge that you have to the situation, you're coming from a space of a problem. You're coming from a space of looking to solve a problem. That's not going to create for you, darling. You have to come from the space of knowing there are possibilities and then asking a question. That is what will create for you. So when you're coming from a space of possibilities, you can only be in that space when you're willing to be interesting point of view about the situation. So first, I'd really like you to run interesting point of view around your brother, around his choices, around everything for the next 3 days. Like, just be interesting point of view. Anytime a judgment shows up, interesting point of view, interesting point of view, interesting point of view. Once the charge starts to, kind of melt out of this situation, once the polarity is not as much as there is, then you can ask to change it. Then you can ask, what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can I and my body be that can have me out manipulating my brother with total ease? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. But first, please be interesting point of view.
Okay.
So you can start to melt the charge out of the situation.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Have you all heard of? You're welcome. And have you all heard of the tool that Dane and Gary have been talking so much about fracking? What if we can all just frack the insanity of abuse and gaslighting from our lives? Like, literally.
I've heard about it, the word fracking, but what does it mean? Yeah.
So,
like Mohnish Malhotra, he was doing it on his group all the time, but I haven't found the answer for it.
Okay, so fracking is something that, so a beautiful example that Dane shared was that, when we have to take oil out of deep under the earth, there's oil, right? We have to pump it out. How do we pump it out? We apply pressure. We apply pressure to the rock, and from the rock comes out oil. That is fracking. A rock is a problem, and the possibilities are the oils. Is the oil under it? So when you frack it, when you frack the insanity of your problem, when you frack the insanity of abuse, which is like a rock in your life, what comes out of that are the possibilities which you can now choose from. Fracking is an exercise. So I actually asked somebody, I said, how am I supposed to frack? Like, I don't get this, frack. What am I supposed to do? Like, how can I just frack? I don't know how to frack. So Dane said something really sweet. He said, you got to really practice fracking to get it right. So I took that seriously. So I was like, frack, I got to get right. No, you just can frack anything and everything, darling. And the more and more you frack, the easier it becomes for you, because it's like a muscle in your body, and you have the capacity to frack. You have the capacity to take oil out of from under the rocks with the pressure that you apply.
So what would be the clearing in this case? Like
what energy, space, and consciousness can I in my body be that can have me fracking the insanity of abuse out of my reality with total ease? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. How can I use the intensity? How can I use the intensity of this pain to frack the insanity of abuse? When there's abuse, there's a level of pain that gets attached to it. Right, guys? What if that is the intensity of pain that you can use to frack the insanity of abuse out of your life? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you all destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Cool. Did that clear anything for you, darling? Is Poonam back? Is she on again, or has she not been able to hop on?
Can I ask something, Chandna Aunty?
Yes, love. Sure, go ahead.
So whenever I want to do something which is new, I somewhere I think have this pattern wherein like the other person, like maybe my father or somebody will shout at me, and that's what is happening. How can I break this pattern? Like I want to try something new, I am actually scared, and then I close myself up, I shut myself down, like a touch me not plant. Like, okay, I did a mistake, now I'm not going to do it.
So there are a lot of energies as you speak about that.
Mm-hmm.
What is your actual question, darling?
My actual question is, I have this pattern where I choose to do something and I am scared that the other person will shout at me or something, and that words get created, and I would like to change this.
Cool. So one thing great what you said was that you're aware that that's what you're creating.
Yeah.
Right? So everything under the distractor implant of fear that has me destroying the creative energy that I be, I destroy and uncreate that.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Wow. Yeah. We have a capacity to create.
Yeah.
Right? Full stop. Yeah. We have a capacity to create. What you create is a choice.
Okay.
We all have the capacity to create.
Yes.
Full stop.
Full stop.
What you create is your choice. If you're going to create destruction with the fear that you're choosing, that's a choice. But you have been implanted with the lies of fear. Fear is a lie, right? The only purpose of fear is to keep you from choosing greater. That's the only purpose. So at what age did you misidentify and misapply excitement for fear and fear for excitement? But every time you start to create, you label the excitement for fear and distract yourself from the creation. Everything that is, everything, whatever age that was at for everybody on this call, and I'm using your zeal right now for everybody on this call, whatever age that was, will you all please destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds.
Can you do a clearing on anger? Like, if somebody gets angry, it's just so annoying and it pisses me off to the core. as I told you, I shut myself, or I would not talk to that person for days and etc. Or
So
until
there's
the
a certain pattern here that you're following, like you said, right? Is that
yeah,
coming from all the projections that you're being for the people around you?
maybe.
Yes or no?
Okay. No.
Liar. Everywhere that you're projecting on others, and they are just working on your projections and creating and gifting you what you're asking for.
Oh, okay.
You need to destroy and uncreate that.
Yes.
It's a bummer access. It doesn't allow you to be a victim for a second. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pork, online, boys and beyond. Darling, when you acknowledge that you are the one projecting this on them and they're just playing your role, you're just throwing something at them and saying, come on, play hide and seek. And then they start to play hide and seek and then you say you're bad.
It's not all the time. Okay, it's sometimes.
Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pork, online, shots, boys and beyonds. So take this part of the conversation out and play with yourself and ask yourself this question: at what age did you misidentify and misapply fear for excitement and excitement for fear? It
Yes.
doesn't matter what age, that's not significant. Is this the energy you want to kill? You want to destroy the energy. And after clearing that, frack the insanity out of it.
Okay.
It's insanity
Yes.
to be choosing fear when it's actually excitement.
Yeah.
Insanity.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm
I
now
would.
going to, yeah.
Can I ask one question, please?
Yes, please. I just want
Yeah.
to yeah.
Okay. So I'm a special educator, and so I go for the remediations for the children. Yeah, and I actually see parents. They are abusing the child so much in front of me. So many a times I tell them that, okay, see, you do not put all these things in the child's mind. Yeah. And so they will just come and they will, one person actually, the mother, she'll come and she will just bang the book and say that, okay, you do not know anything, you are a very slow learner and all that thing. And I immediately see the shift in the child's energy. So what I keep on asking that, okay, what will it take for this to change? So what can I be? What
You know,
to change? I mean, what
can
can I do
I
this?
please request everyone to be on mute because the recording is going to be highly disturbed. Thank you. So yeah, so that question that you asked, Gary says the only way to stop abuse is to out abuse the abuser. An abuser only abuses because he's a mean asshole. That's all. And if parenting is abuse, that parent needs a couple of things spoken to them. And are you willing to have every parent take their child away from you if that would stop the abuse and this reality?
Yes, and that has happened also, actually.
Online shots, boys and beyonds. Yes. I remember once I had a session with a mother and I told the mother that she said, I don't need the sessions. My child needs the sessions because my child is the one who's abusive. And, she had all these points of views about the child. And I kept listening to her and I asked her a question. And the question I asked her was that, to what level would you go to abuse your child to prove that you are right and he is wrong? And she was angry at me. She was very angry that I had asked her that question. But I'm willing to lose the client.
That's
stop
okay.
the abuse on this planet. Because really, to what level are you willing to go?
Because that has, okay, taking sessions for me, I mean, for him, it is becoming literally heavy because I'm actually suppressing myself not to ask or not to tell anything to the mother, actually.
You have to be willing. You have to be willing to stop abuse. To stop abuse, ask this question that I asked and see what that changes. Either she totally change or she leave.
Actually, She herself is going through depressions, and I have offered her bar sessions also, but she is not willing to take as of now.
Yeah, she probably loves the abuse.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome. So I'm actually going to go to this question that was written by Jalpa. I'm just seeing it. And it says, I'm going to read it again. Where did it go? Can you please talk about allowance as far as abuse and gaslighting is concerned? A great question to ask. And so allowance is not being a doormat. Allowance is being willing to tell the person in his face that this doesn't work for me. And if this is going to carry on, I'm choosing different. Allowance for yourself is more important than allowance for others. If you don't have allowance for yourself, you can never have allowance for others. If you don't have allowance for yourself, you will only be doing superiority. When you're doing superiority, how many of you are choosing to be the victim? You're beating me up and you're abusing me and you're gaslighting me. But see, I'll still be here for you because I love you. Bullshit. You're just trying to prove that you're a good Indian woman. Bullshit. You really want to be an allowance of what you know. And what you know is that this doesn't work for me. What you know is that this is abuse. What you know is that this is gaslighting. And you don't want to be in judgment of that. You don't want to be in judgment of making it wrong, good, bad. You want to be an allowance of that. But you also want to know that this doesn't work for me. That is allowance. Taking abuse time and again in the name of allowance is a lie, guys. It's just a lie. I hope that helped, Jalpa.
Also, Chandana, I have another question.
Yes.
Pertaining to this.
Yeah.
Like when you see that the other person has a pattern in this, so how about giving that person another chance to shift or to create new and not repeat that pattern?
You know, we have some beautiful tools in Access. For pattern, one of the great ones is the trifold sequencing systems. So when you run the bars, run the trifold sequencing systems for them. We have the abuse hold process, which is fabulous. If you have heard the abuse CD 30 times and more, please get an abuse hold run. So much will shift. So much will shift. In fact, for everybody on this call, for any of you who have not yet bought the abuse CD,
I haven't bought it. I don't know from where to buy it because somebody said that.
Darling, you'll get it on Amazon. I will put the link out for you all to have it. Okay? I will
Thank
get the link out. Please, yes, it is online also. It's also in the Access shop. It is on Amazon too. And please buy the CD, buy the whatever, and run it in your homes non-stop. That was the first thing I bought when I started with Access. I bought the money workbook and I bought the abuse CD having no clue what it was all about. And I played it in my house non-stop for 3 months. And when I actually saw the abuse CD and I was asked to buy it, I was like, why should I buy it? I'm not abused. I don't abuse. It doesn't work for me. This is not for me. Because for me, abuse meant physically abused. Right? That is this reality. So for me, it's like, no, I don't want to buy it. It's not for me. And then I remember the facilitator telling me, no, buy it. It'll change it for you. And I'm so grateful that I bought it. And I actually played it in my house and it changed so much for everybody. So please do get the CD, okay? And play it. Yeah.
Chandana, I have a question here.
Yes, darling.
So,
and this will probably be the last question that I will take. Yes,
okay.
Go ahead.
So Chandana, if you are like acknowledging about self-abuse and about self-gaslighting, so what else is possible then?
Yes, that's a great question. Such a beautiful question. Thank you for asking that. What lies beyond the lies of abuse and gaslighting that I have never chosen before?
Okay.
What reality beyond this reality of abuse and gaslighting can I choose now that I have been resisting, that if I would now choose it, could change my reality?
Awesome.
Everything that doesn't allow that. Can we destroy and unkill it all, please?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Right,
Chandana,
Ram?
Thank you.
Online shots, boys and beyonds. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Chandana, this is Sumana. I know you said the last question. I just wanted to say one thing, that what if the same person is helping you as well as abusing you? I mean, some areas that person helps you and brings lots of stuff to awareness and also takes out a lot of their own things out on you. And then you just are like, I'm like zapped sometimes. It's like on the one hand, this person also contributes so much and helps. I know you sort of covered it initially, but it's like, yeah, I just feel like I do say that that's not acceptable, all of that. I think that's my problem. I feel I'm not able to confront and say this is acceptable, and yeah, that I guess that is abuse, right?
Yes, darling, it is. And you've got to recognize something. And I'm grateful for your question here, because that would probably contribute to the entire call.
Yeah.
There's nobody on this planet, including us on this call, who's perfect.
Right.
Right? We all have our goods and bads and ugly. Yes?
Yes.
You want to really ask. Abuse is something that is... Physical abuse is something that you are not going to ever receive. You're not going to accept it. It's not acceptable. Sorry. Not acceptable. Right? Physical abuse, violence of any form is just not acceptable. Abuse, on the other hand, you really want to ask. When you are aware someone is abusing you and you take it by being abused, is when you become the victim.
Right.
Somebody is abusing you and you look at the person and say, wow, interesting that he would try to abuse me. Interesting that he would try and gaslight me. Now who's in control? You or he?
Me. Yeah.
The only way to out-create and outdo gaslighting and abuse is to be aware.
Do you say it to the person, or you just say it to
No. You don't say it to the person. You say it to yourself and you just be aware. You be aware of the energy that they're being. And you ask the question, what will it take to change this? What will it take to out-manipulate this person?
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Will we get a recording of this?
Yes, you will get a recording of this. And are you all in the group of the monthly Clarity Night? Have you all joined the WhatsApp group? Because that's the place where we are going to actually post it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I would really request you all. Sorry?
Can you send us the link?
Let me see if I can. 1 minute. I'm not very good with all this. I'm going to try and do it.
And could you please, what is the name of the CD?
Yes, it is. I will write down in the same group. I will put the name of the CD and everything else.
Talking about the original abuse CD?
Yes, that's the one, darling.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing one.
Yeah, it is. It is really, really beautiful. And this is the group. Please join this group, because in this group you will receive the replay and the link to buy the abuse CD also.
Done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Love you all.
Thank you so much
for being on. And we're going to meet
Thank you.
again. We're going to meet again with another topic, maybe in 10 days or maybe in a week. You're welcome. You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Channa, as
Thank you.
always. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Bye,
you
love.
very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.